Hello, welcome to Awakenings TV. My name is Tamara Pitelen and this is Vanya Silverten. You're watching Tea and Biscuits with the Universe. This is episode number 5. It's part of an experimental series that Vanya and I are doing where I ask Vanya questions about things that are of interest to us, hopefully other people as well. She connects to the source of all that is, Creator, Universal Intelligence, and tries to bring down some wisdom and insights. That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Pretty much,
yeah.
We hope for the best each time.
We hope for the best, yes. If you'd like to know a little bit more about how Vanya connects, watch the first episode where she talks about that a bit more. Anyway, today we are going to discuss soulmates. Vanya has been a professional full-time healer for about 6 years now, and I've seen hundreds, probably thousands actually, of people. And there's often the same themes that come through: money, career, love. People are either looking for love or wanting to improve the love they've got. Love is a biggie, isn't it?
It's huge.
Yeah. And everyone wants to find that person that completes them.
Yes, of
and
course.
There's this idea in our modern society, well, an idea in society in some parts, that there is just one person out there who completes us, who we're destined for.
And all the fairy tales we've read too.
And all the fairy tales, yeah. They've signed us up for this belief system as well.
So everything's going to be perfect once that happens.
Once we've got Prince Charming or Princess Charming. Yeah. So what we want to talk to Vanya about today is, what is a soulmate? Do we have soulmates? Are they always people in a romantic partnership, or can your soulmate be your best friend or
your dog?
Yeah. And are we ever just not destined to meet that perfect person who completes us? Or is it a case of there's actually billions of people that could complete us? But it depends on, I don't know, where we are in the world, where we are in our... I don't know what it depends on, to be honest with you. It's a mystery to me. So yes, from Creator's perspective, what is a soulmate? And if you want one, how do you find one? And yeah, if you're searching for the people out there who are, find it frustrating that they haven't found the love of their life and they're feeling a little bit incomplete or empty in that, what can you say to them?
Okay, so we all have soulmates, and we've got many soulmates. So if you think you've already had a soulmate and you no longer have that soulmate, then that's over, then that's completely wrong, because there are hundreds of soulmates for us to experience. And really what a soulmate is there to do is that person's here to help us remind us who we are. So when you meet a soulmate, whether it be a friend or a lover or a partnership or a dog or an animal, because they do come in different forms, that soulmate is there to remind us who we are. And so we have to recognize that, and then we're there to help remind them who they are.
Okay.
So when you often meet a soulmate, you kind of get this kind of kabow, I remember you, there's something here that connects us. We get on in many different ways, or wow, I remember feeling free, I remember feeling happy, and you've brought this freedom and happiness to me. But really they haven't brought it to you, they're just reminding you that you're supposed to be feeling that already. Yeah. So sometimes we have soulmates that come in and then they leave because life does that. Life pulls us on different parts. Then you could get another one coming in to teach us the next thing, and then you learn that and they leave and move on. So there is a movement through life where we do have people coming in to kind of teach us things, and that's what we have to look at when we do meet a soulmate. Not necessarily what can I get from you, how are you completing me, how are you filling all the holes inside of me, because you should really be fulfilling all of those yourself, is how are you reminding me of who I should be.
Right.
So it's a different way of looking at it, and it will actually allow you to know when a relationship should finish and end, because you're not holding on to them fulfilling you. If it's meant to finish and end, it will naturally do its time, and then people will move on, and that's quite beautiful.
And the end of a relationship isn't a bad thing, is it?
No.
I feel sad when I hear these people who divorce after, say, 20 or 30 years, and they feel like they've failed in some way. It's like, you stayed together for 20, 30 years, that's amazing!
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with...
No, and I think life's changed, modern life's changed, Back in the day, you'd have one partner for your whole life and that would be it, But now we're growing and changing so much as individuals that not one person necessarily is able to support us through that whole journey. And sometimes we need to have soulmates for a certain amount of years, and then we have to break from them. Otherwise, you don't break out of old patterns. You don't grow. You don't find your own freedom. You don't,
Even though that period of breaking free might actually be very painful in the short term.
So painful. So painful. Because you've spent a lot of time together. You've kind of weaved your emotions together. You've weaved your mind together. You've weaved your spirit and your soul together.
Yeah.
And you've weaved life together. So your routine and all those kind of things. So to separate, it's quite a big process.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of separating, don't be so dramatic. Maybe you need to start going through a process of, I need to come back to myself, he needs to or she needs to come back to himself, and then we can separate in a more amicable way because we're both in a more healthier space. And so there's a lot of pressure or negative issues around breaking up. Well, maybe breaking up is a beautiful thing. Look at, what is it, Gwyneth Paltrow and Conscious Uncoupling.
Yeah.
And there's something beautiful about starting again, and there's something beautiful about being on your own.
Yes.
And returning back to you being your own soulmate, which should always be there anyways throughout your life. You should be your own best friend, and you should be your own soulmate.
There's a lot of people, especially I think because I'm female, perhaps that's why I'm more thinking about the females at this point. But I certainly know in your 20s, and if you haven't partnered up by your 30s, the pressure,
I know,
and the want and the desire and the frustration, and you can really become quite obsessive and unhappy if and no matter how much you think I need to be complete by myself and a man can't complete me, there still is part of you that yearns for that.
Of course, because we're meant to engage with other people and we're meant to interact.
Yeah.
And relationships are beautiful because they teach us how not to be selfish. They teach us to compromise, which isn't a bad thing because we do need to learn how to harmonize with other people. It doesn't necessarily have to compromise on our values. But I think in that, if the relationship hasn't happened, then the person needs to be honest, to start getting out there and just beginning. Even if it means going on 10 dates which don't work out, it doesn't matter. At least you're beginning that process of learning to interact, learning to gel, learning to hold conversation, learning to find out what you don't want is also a good thing, so you know what you do want. So if you're in that space of I haven't had a partner for a very long time, you've kind of got to work through some stuff to get back online, so to speak, to make yourself available to have those experiences. Because if you don't pick yourself up and make it happen, then it ain't necessarily going to come knock on your front door and with a bunch of roses to say, here I am, I've been.
You've got to take the steps to change the energy that will allow someone to maybe come in. Yeah,
and through that process, you actually become more fluid and more easier to be with, as opposed to being reserved, shut down, or quiet. So it's all part of a process and a journey.
Yeah. For the people out there who are struggling with this and who feel like they have done that and they've been on a million dates and I don't know what else. Can't find the one. And are finding themselves increasingly falling into a bit of a funk about that. What can they do? I know you have touched on a bit, but just more specifically, what can they do?
So things like looking at, are they holding on to rejection patterns? Do they feel like they always get rejected?
Right. And
so therefore they keep attracting people to keep rejecting them.
Yeah.
So that could be one. It could be, I've seen a lot of people with just broken hearts.
Yeah.
So even because their heart chakra or their heart center is broken because they may have been, had a difficult childhood or whatever, that broken heart center can then not allow love to come into life because it's broken from within.
Right.
I knew someone that had a broken heart since 8 months old.
What breaks your heart at the age of 8 months?
Her mother died.
Oh, okay.
And so her little heart broke.
Yeah.
And from there on, she couldn't keep a relationship.
Because the
heart center wasn't complete and able to hold the love vibration.
Oh, okay.
Because of the issue, the trauma of what had happened. So the relationships in her life never stayed. They always went.
Right.
Which kept reinforcing the original pattern that what I love leaves.
Right, okay.
So you might have to do some work around things
some
like
of those subconscious beliefs again.
Yeah.
Those jolly things.
I know, but it's all part of the journey, and it's quite interesting when you can go through and deal with it, and then evolve out of it.
Yeah.
You understand yourself better, you become wiser. I mean, there's so many gifts out of this process. So.
Right. Okay, yeah. All right, that's all very interesting. I'm just thinking, is there anything else we haven't? Obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's different things, isn't there? There's twin flames, there's soulmates.
I hear about
these
these soul clusters or whatever. I hear about that. Soul families.
Yeah.
What's all that?
So apparently, how it is soul families travel through time together. So they're just like your own family. They're a bunch of souls which vibrate or resonate at the same frequency, or they come from the same pool of creation. So they journey through time, and I'm sure you've met people in your life that you go, oh my God, I really know you. There's something about us that connects. We're kindred souls, you know, because you probably existed through time together and had experiences and stuff like that. So that's a soul family. And then you get these other experiences, which they call the twin flame, and that's what you're supposed to have and everything. But I'm not quite. I think it's a very old Greek thing. Although I do believe that we all have a divine soul partner that we're supposed to coexist with for our life.
That incarnates in this life with us necessarily, always?
I guess so. I think we all have to experience divine love. I think that's part of our spiritual experience, is to find that partner to experience divine love with.
What if but there's plenty of people who go through life and they never partner up, and maybe they join a nunnery or a monastery, or they just choose to not partner up. There's nothing wrong with that either, though, is there?
No, there isn't.
So are they just learning different lessons in this life?
I guess so.
Or just choosing not to?
Yeah, I think we're quite complex, the reason why we do things or don't do things. But I also believe there's a part of the human experience is to experience this moment of divine true love, or this complete connection with another person. Now that could be for 2 days, you could have that experience, or that could be for 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's an experience of two beings coming together and gelling and meshing and relaying information, exchanging, improving the other. And whether that, like I said, happens for a moment in time or for a longer period of time, I think we all need to have that experience.
Okay. All right. I think, should we leave it there, or is there something else? Thanks, Vanya. Well, thank you for being here today.
Cool.
If there is anything you would like us to discuss, or me to ask Vanya, please, you'll find my email at the end of this video, so drop us an email and we'll see if we can get to it. And thank you for watching today. We'll see you again. Bye.